Hello, it's Karen here, Kazina, and I'm just going to do a pickups video. I picked up a fair bit in the last couple of weeks, so without any haste, I'll just show you the stuff I've picked up, and I'll try and do it in the sort of order that I picked it up. The first thing I picked up, and this must have been a good couple of weeks ago now, in a charity shop. I paid £1, and it's called Baby Felix Tennis. Funny name. Well, it's Felix the cat, a baby version, and he's playing tennis, and it's not a bad game of tennis. The only downside I think with this game is that you can't use you have an option to use the thumb button, the analog button. You have to use the D button, and that makes it a little bit harder to move from side to side. You tend to miss the ball a bit, but it's not bad, and I can't say I've ever heard of it, but I suppose Baby Felix Tennis, it's not going to be like a major rare game. I also picked up this game called Music Maker for the PS2. I paid £2 for that, and I don't know about you, but I love these music making games. I really do. I used to play there was one on the PS1 I used to play. I played it on the PS2. In fact, there's one I was playing, Music Generator or something like that it was called, on the Xbox not that long ago, and I actually made 3 tunes. Not saying they were any good, but I thoroughly enjoyed making them, and so I haven't put this in yet, but I definitely will put this in, and I'm sure I'll create some more awful tunes. So that's Music Maker. I also went into this shop, which wasn't actually a charity shop. It's a kind of electronic shop, which I've never been in before, because I thought it just sold electrics, but I had a nose there the other weekend, and they do sell second-hand games. So I picked up 3 PS2 games, and the first one I picked up, and I paid £2 for this. Unfortunately it doesn't have its manual, but I really wanted this on the PS2. I've got it on the GameCube, and that's Resident Evil 4, and you all know what it plays like. It's a great game. Funny enough, I've got a lot further in this than I have on the GameCube game, and I've had the GameCube game for ages. Don't know how, but I seem to have got quite far on. I think I'm just much more used to the PS2 controls, but yeah, I like it, I really do. You know, it's Resident Evil 4, so very happy. It would have been nice if I'd had the manual, but I can live without that. I also picked up this one as well for £2 called Shadow of Rome, and it's gladiator fighting game really. It's you go into the ring and you just fight other people and animals and stuff like that. It's a kind of hack and slash. There's not an awful lot to it, but I quite liked what I played of it. I don't mind a bit of mindless hack and slash. Sometimes I think that's great. You can just switch off and just do that. You know, I don't think they've made that many great games of this Roman era, have they? I think there was a game I played before, something like Gradius or something like that. I used to have that on the PS2, but I didn't like it very much. I know I got rid of it, but this is alright. It's alright for £2, it's fine. And the last one I got in that shop, and it's Onimusha Dawn of Dreams, and I actually paid £3.99 for this, and it comes on 2 discs. I played the first one. I had that on PS2. I wasn't mad about it, to be quite honest. I thought the controls, the game was quite good, but the controls weren't great. But this one is pretty epic, I have to say. Vastly improved on the it's 3 before, isn't it? I think this is the 4th one. It's a vast improvement on the other 2 anyway, because I played a bit of the second one as well, demo. I really like it. It's got a great intro. The intro to it is brilliant, and it really kicks off quite quick in the game as well, and you're fighting quite a hard boss quite early on. But it's got lovely graphics. It looks really well, and I actually very pleased, because I don't normally pay sort of that much if I'm picking up a game second hand in like a charity type shop. I don't normally pay more than £2, but I don't mind having paid £3.99 for that, and I think anyone that enjoys this type of game would enjoy this game. I also picked up in CEX, I paid £8 for this, and it's Children of Eden, and as everybody probably knows, it's kind of a sort of a sequel to Rez, which was out donkeys years ago, and I'm a big fan of Rez. I was delighted the other day. Steve Benway, he actually did a playthrough of Rez, and I was absolutely delighted to see that, because I haven't seen a playthrough of one for ages. And anyway, so I've picked this up. I'm digressing. I picked this up and I've played through the first 3 levels of this so far. I don't think it's a very long game, to be honest. I think it's like Rez. It's pretty short. You can blast through it pretty easy, but it looks incredible. It plays really well. It's still got that Rez feel to it. Is it as good as the original Rez? Hard to say. It's hard to say. I still have got a lot of love for the first Rez. You don't have that little man in it that kind of his body changes, you know, as you're playing Rez. He starts off as sort of like just a little wireframe man, doesn't he? And then he can become sort of like all silver, and then he's like he looks like he's like sitting there like almost like a skinny Buddha or something like that, doesn't he, as he gets more stronger. But it doesn't have that character in Children of Eden. However, I do think it's a fabulous looking game, and I thoroughly enjoyed playing what I've played of this, and it's definitely worth picking up, even though if you're really good, you could probably fly through this in a few hours or so. But it's still a spectacle for the eyes, and I don't know about you, but I always come back to games like this. I still pick up Rez now and play it, and I certainly will be picking this one up, playing it again. I also picked up 4 games for £20 in my local Blockbusters. I don't think I did too bad, actually. The first game I picked up was a PlayStation's free game, and I'll have to put my glasses on to read this properly. It's called, stickers over it, it's called Argarest Generations of War. Argarest, is that how you pronounce it? And it's a bit like a real-time strategy type role-playing game. If you think of Vandal Hearts on the PS1 donkeys years ago, well, it's a bit like that. It's got tiny little sprites, and you've got to move certain squares. You only have a limited amount of squares you can move, and then when your turn's done, the enemy has a turn, and etc, etc. But it's quite a nifty little game. It looks quite nice. It's quite old school looking, and I like it. I'd never heard of it before, that's why I picked it up. So I picked that up. That's one of the 4 for 20. The other one I picked up is Gears of War 2, and I had the first one, Gears of War, the very first one, and I'm not, funny enough, not mad about it. I've attempted to play it a few times, and I didn't really like it that much, but I don't know, I saw this and I thought I'd pick it up, and I have to say, wow, I really enjoyed this. I've had quite a blast playing this. I don't know if it's just me. Is it a vast improvement on the first one? I don't know. I'm not an expert on these types of games, but excuse me, I have to say I think this is a really good game. Very enjoyable, Gears of War 2. I picked up Section 8, which is a kind of sci-fi third person shooter game, or is it first person? Anyway, it's not bad, it's not brilliant, but it's not a bad game either. You just run around shooting things really, and it's done in a sort of sci-fi way, and you can leap really high in the air. Not much else to say about it really, but it's okay. For a £5 it's fine. And the last one I picked up for the £20, for £20 was Velvet Assassin, and I know this hasn't got brilliant reviews. However, the storyline kind of piqued my interest, that you play this person who actually really existed in real life. I can't remember her name. It starts off, she's laying in her deathbed in a hospital somewhere, and she just has flashbacks of her fighting in the war, and you play in those flashbacks, and yeah, it's a stealth game, and I have to say it's quite hard, or maybe it's just me, but I found it quite hard. There's a few bits where you're meant to be creeping up on somebody, and I got a bit stuck as to what I'm meant to be doing. I think you've got to get the timing quite good on this game, but I think it's the sort of game, if you persevere with it, and if you like this sort of game, you will be rewarded for it. But I don't think it's for everybody, but it's certainly something that I will pick up and play again. I did like what I did play of it, to be honest, but I did find it a little bit difficult. The difficulty curve was quite high. So that's Velvet Assassin. I also picked up, now this isn't a game at all, I picked this up in a charity shop, and it's Uno, the card game Uno. Like I know how to play Uno. I've actually got the original game of Uno in my drawer in the bedroom, and I still don't know how to play it. But the reason I picked this up is because it came in a lovely tin. It's £1.49 in the charity shop, and it's a Spider-Man set, and it's got I won't open it, but all the cards in there have got all Spider-Man characters in it, and I thought that was really cool. So it doesn't really matter if you can't play Uno, it's just nice for the cards. I picked up some videos, funny enough, says me, real old school, still watching videos and listening to LPs, but I thought they were pretty good ones. I paid 49p for each one of them, and the first one I picked up is Ghost in a Shell, which is a classic anime film which I actually don't have on DVD, so really happy to own that, Ghost in a Shell. Another one called Ninja Resurrection, The Revenge of Jubai. I know nothing about that, but it looks pretty good, and again another anime film, it looks really good. I picked up, this is an anime, it's called Baby Carts at the River Styx, and I think they've got quite a bit of a following, these films. I think they were meant to be quite gory and violent. I don't know, I've never seen any of them, but I know that they had quite a following years ago, so I thought I'd give it a go, seeing it was only 49p. And then I found a set of free videos, and it's the first series of Spawn. I didn't know Spawn was actually on video or DVD, but seemingly it was, and I picked up these three, which are actually the very first series. I did check on the internet, and there was actually 3 series, and I've actually watched these, and they were really good, really enjoyed them. Very good, it's very well done. It's actually Todd McFarlane who did create Spawn. He actually introduces every there's two videos on each, there's 2 series I should say on every video, and he introduces every one of them, which is pretty cool. Yeah, I really liked it. Thought they were very good. However, if anybody, because I've watched them, if anybody's interested, I don't know if anybody actually collects videos anymore, but if anybody wants them, they're more than welcome. You're more than welcome to them. I don't mind posting them to you for nothing, honestly. Anyone's interested, you can have the first series of Spawn on video. I also picked up, well, I say I picked up, I actually got these off of eBay, and I got 2 figures, and the first figure I got is actually of the Atom, and he was only $1.99. I think the postage was about the same. It was between $1.50 and $1.99, but the actual figure was $1.99, and it's of the Atom. I normally take these out the box, and the reason I've kept that in the box is because I like the hand in the background. It looks pretty cool. So I just think that's really nice, because I quite liked the Atom years ago. It says on the back here that the identity of the Atom was, this Atom is Ryan Choi. I always thought the Atom was called Ray Palmer, but I know these characters change their identities, don't they? I'm not really up to date, to be honest, with DC or Marvel characters. I'm still stuck in the 90s, but yeah, so I thought he was quite a nice figure anyway. So that's Ryan Choi, the Atom. And then I picked up this lovely figure. Now, I tell you why I picked this up. I was actually watching Devil Toys UK 2 a little while ago, and he did a review of this figure, and I could feel myself thinking, wow, that's a great figure. You know, I felt myself, do not covet thy YouTuber's figure. I was getting a bit green round the gills when I saw it. I thought, oh, that's wicked. So I ended up going on eBay and ordering it the same night that I watched this video, and I paid $11.99 for this, and it came all the way from Hong Kong, and the postage was free, which I thought was really good. It said that it was loose, it wasn't in a box or anything, and I was really happy to pay that, because I think it's worth about twice as much. It goes for about 20 or more, so I thought $11.99 free posters and packaging, I'll give it a go. And it actually came wrapped really well, and it did come in this plastic, which was great. And it's the Red Tornado, and he's a great looking figure. Honestly, he's a right handsome fella. I really liked the Red Tornado. He was a character, oh gosh, let me have a think. He came from some planet called Ran or something like that, and he used to be one entity of good and bad, and he had some bust up, I think it was with Adam Strange, and Adam Strange kicked his butt, and after that he got to pondering, and he decided that you know, he would become good. So the good part of him split off from the bad part, and I think he came to Earth not long afterwards, and he bumped into some geezer, Tio Morrow or something like that. I'm hoping I'm getting this right. He bumped into this geezer, and this geezer was doing some android thing, and somehow he merged, Red Tornado merged with this android, which wiped all the Red Tornado's memories, and then loads of toing and froing went on with the Justice League. Eventually he joined with them. He also got blown up a couple of times. I've actually got that comic somewhere up in the attic where he sacrifices himself for the Justice League, and there's his arm and his leg and all these wires hanging out. Poor little Red Tornado. Yeah, so he was like an android, but then later on he kind of develops this alter ego, a human alter ego called, I think, John Smith, which sounds like a politician, but I'm sure it was John Smith. That's not a very good name, is it, for a superhero? John Smith, Red Tornado. Yeah, and he gets a girlfriend, and there's a kid and everything. But yeah, so you can see I can remember that. I'm a bit of a fan, or was a bit of a fan of Red Tornado, so I'm absolutely delighted to find him, and he's going to be coming out of his plastic after this this video and going somewhere pride of place. Mr. John Smith, Red Tornado. And the last things I picked up, I actually picked them up today. I was actually in Epsom today, and I went into a few charity shops, and I didn't find much. I found 3 PS2 games. Honestly, the charity shops are awash with PS2 games. It's a good thing I'm a huge fan of the PS2. I found Grand Theft Auto, the Vice City Stories. It was £1.99, and it's in absolute spanking wicked condition, and I was really pleased to find that, because I found Liberty Stories not that long ago, and now I've found Vice City Stories. I also found, I'll read this out properly, Dynasty Warriors 5 Extreme Legends. And I know they're very repetitive games, but I think, as I said earlier in this video, I quite like a bit of mindless hack and slash, and that's what you get with Dynasty Warriors, and it always looks very pretty as well. That was £1.99, and again that was in great condition. I found in another one, another charity shop, I paid £2 for that, and it's the Hulk. I don't know if it's any good, but it's the Hulk. And I love my cartoon comic characters, and I do like to give them a go, and I know some of them are not that good, some adaptations are not great, but it might be alright. So that was the Hulk for £2. And then I went into Game Station, and I picked up 4 games. And the first game I picked up, and you're all going to go, oh my god, what'd you pick that up for? I paid 49p, and some people wouldn't pay 2 pence for it, but I paid 49p for it, and it's Britney's Dance Beat. Yeah, why did I buy it? My sister will kill me, but I actually quite like Britney Spears' music. I know, it's not cool to say that, is it? I do, I quite like her music. I loved all that stuff. Oops, I did it again. Anyway, I loved all that stuff back yonder. And yeah, my sister thinks she's absolute poo. So much so that to wind her up, I've got on my ringtone Britney Spears version singing Toxic. So when my sister rings, Britney Spears comes up on the phone, which doesn't please her. So yeah, yeah, that's kind of a huge embarrassing thing to admit, but I quite like Britney's music, so that's why I picked it up. I also picked up, excuse me, God, I've been gasping for so long. I also picked up this, and it's called Samurai Showdown Zen, and I paid £5 for this, and it looks really good. It looks a bit Street Fighter-ish. I don't really know much about this game, but it looks a bit Street Fighter-y 2D game, and I like that sort of game, and for £5 I thought that was definitely worth it, so I picked that up today. And then finally, the next 2 games I picked up, and these are going to be my Christmas games. I did that video yesterday talking about what gets me in the mood for Christmas, and I was saying about wanting to pick up Skyrim, but it's still $44.99, and I know this sounds really bad, right, but I just can't bring myself to spend $44.99 on one game. I just can't do it, because I know that in a few months time I'll be able to pick it up for £20 or £25, and I don't mind paying that, but I can't do it. I just can't spend that sort of money on one game. Maybe I'm just being tight, but I can't do it. So what I picked up is 2 games, and I paid $14.99 each for them. And the first one I picked up, and I'm going to be now dipping my toe into the uncharted waters of Drake, and yeah, it's Uncharted 2. I've played both of the demos on my PS3, and it looks fabulous. I have to say, it looks absolutely fabulous graphic wise, and it plays really well, and I did prefer the demo of the second one. That's why I picked up the second one, and I know it's considered one of the best game series on the PS3, if not the best. Everyone raves about it, so I'm definitely looking forward to putting that in and playing it. So that's Uncharted 2. And the other one I picked up is Divinity 2 for the Xbox, and this is my substitute for Skyrim, and it's Divinity 2, and it's actually called the Dragon Knight Saga, and it includes 2 complete adventures, Divinity 2 Eco Dragonus and Divinity 2 Flames of Vengeance. It's got dragons in it. Haha, dragons like Skyrim. It's got 2 complete adventures for over 100 hours of gameplay, hundreds of weapons, fight your enemies on the ground or crush them from the sky using your dragon form. So it sounds like a real rip-roaring good RPG, and I did play the demo of one of these Divinity games. I'm not sure if it was this one or the other one, and I quite enjoyed it, the demo, so I'm really looking forward to playing that. And this is also going to be my Christmas game, Divinity 2, and it's my substitute for Skyrim. So anyway, that's the end of my very long waffle about what I've picked up over the last couple of weeks. I hope you've enjoyed watching. I will be doing another pickup video soon, because I've actually got a couple of things from eBay that have come, but I haven't received the main thing. So when I get that, I'll just be doing a video just on that, and it won't last as long as this one, so you can all relax. But thanks very much for watching, and take care.